right, Black and White Network supporters. I just literally hit stop recording on a Chicago video about cashless bail and the danger that presented on day one. 2 cops hospitalized, 4 cops assaulted in Chicago. The perpetrator came in on Sunday and was turnstiled out in the first day of the Safety Act. Safety for who? The criminals, not the citizens. And now I've got another Chicago video. And there's just, if you're going to keep voting this way, just realize you're not a priority. As a citizen, your safety is not a priority. It's not. The criminals are elevated. The victims are devalued. If you're a legal citizen and not an illegal alien, as a legal citizen, your rights, your wants, even though you're paying taxes, they have been devalued, and the rights of the migrants have been elevated. Simply put, if you're in Chicago, if you're in Illinois, your rights don't matter. And you keep voting this way, which is amazing. I mean, the very definition of insanity, they say, is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Nah, not going to change as long as you keep voting this way. So now Chicago has signed and is going to spend $30 million damn dollars. $30 million, 30 million bones on funding and in fact, let me switch over because I'm going to have to move this over a hair. There we go. Okay, now, there we go. So, $30 million on migrants. That's right, building tents. My goodness, only the best. They're going to put them some yurts up and spend $30 million to do it. Keep in mind, they can't keep police officers and they can't recruit police officers because they've chose to defund / reimage. Violent crime continues to be horrible. This last weekend, 24 people were shot. You won't superfund the police. You won't put $29.4 million into your law enforcement in Chicago, but you're going to give them to some illegal aliens. I hear taxes in Chicago are high. Daily Wire. The city of Chicago has signed a $29.4 million contract with a private security firm, not to protect the citizens of Chicago, but to help move some migrants into some brand new winterized tents. You know, good God. Just because you're a Democrat, Brandon Johnson, doesn't mean you can't at least attempt to push back on Joe Biden and his bullshit, non-existent border policies where they're just flooding over here. This is Biden's fault, but it's your fault for not acting, okay, and not opening your mouth. Even Eric Adams in New York has drowned Biden and his administration over these damn migrants. Brandon Johnson, yeah, we're a sanctuary city. Well, then I guess you deserve this. Chicago officials inked a 1-year deal with Garda World Federal Services on September 12th. The firm will be responsible for building, staffing, operating huge tents, which must be able to house between 250 and 1,400 migrants. Wow. Okay. I mean, that's that though. Oh God. I mean, I cannot imagine. Can you imagine what this whole setup's going to look like? It's going to be the living, walking embodiment of fat people dick cheese and rancid farts. This whole neighborhood is just, you ain't going to be able to walk down. It's going to smell. It's going to stink. There's going to be trash everywhere. You're going to devalue the property, which is amazing that you could devalue anything in Chicago, but you're going to. Holy crap, this is going to be bad. You know, there's stories coming out of New York that these migrants, these illegal aliens in these hotels, these nice ones, they're just going in the stairwell and just screwing each other to tears. Just screwing right in the stairwells, yeah. Yeah, just banging away. Well, this way they're going to be in nice tents with 12 people in there. Guys, you know, I'm trying to paint a picture that will be jarring because that's the real kind of peel back the curtain shit that's happening. Right? And you think among these migrants that's being put in said tents, there's not some Chester the molesters in there? Is that what we're thinking? That there's no dangerous criminals that's going to be in there whatsoever? I mean, in a city that certainly doesn't need any more dangerous criminals, come on down. We going to spend 30 million bones on you. Chicago is facing a migrant crisis and is struggling to find a long-term solution. Yeah, there's a solution. Take your ass up to D.C. and walk into Biden's office and throw a fit. Let his own party put some actual heat on that crusty old bag of bones walking around not knowing what direction he's supposed to walk. The country's third largest city has seen an influx of about 13,500 migrants recently and has already spent at least $250 million on the issue. What would that have done for the actual citizens that live there? The taxpayers. The police department. Hello, McFly. Is anybody home? Mayor Brandon Johnson detailed his plan for massive migrant tents earlier this month. Is it too late to get his ass kicked out? I mean, is it too early? I don't think anything's ever too early. The tents will reportedly have, quote, yurt structures that would fit 12 cots each and have fire extinguishers and portable restrooms. Remember the comment about the D cheese and the farts? Holy hell. According to the contract, makeshift kitchens would be set up nearby. The tents will also reportedly have laundry 3 meals a day, security, all-day childcare, and transportation to doctor's appointments. Wait a minute. So you're going to provide them security, but not the citizens of your damn town. Woo-wee. All right. These Chicago videos are getting better and better. They really are. I mean, it's crazy. The purpose of the contract is to, quote, allow the city to purchase from the state contract temporary housing solutions and related services to provide critical services to asylum seekers, the contract states. What about critical services for your citizens? Holy moly. The timeline of building the tents and their locations are still unclear, but the mayor's press secretary, Ronnie Reese, said the goal is to have the tents ready before the cold weather. Quote, it's got to be done pretty quickly if it's going to get done before the weather breaks. Reese told the Chicago Sun-Times the goal is to decompress the police stations as soon as possible. We know that's not sustainable. Yeah, because they done cram these people in the police stations. As stressed out as the cops are right now up there, trying to save as many people as they can from a stray bullet, that's what they've had to deal with. That's unfair too, by the way. In recent months, the newly arrived migrants have been sheltering in the Chicago police stations and the city's 2 airports. My goodness, what a great city. Johnson has faced pushback from members of the city council over the migrant tent plan. The mayor asked all 50 city council members to find 2 acres in their wards for a large tent that could house 200 migrants. And by the way, this is hilarious because these aldermen have come back and been like, "No, we're good. We don't have room. Sorry, nothing to see here. You're not going to be able to do it in my district, in my ward. I've looked in my ward. I don't have the available space. I have one of the most dense wards in the city." Alderman Brian Hopkins, whose ward includes parts of downtown, told ABC7. Another council member, Alderman David Moore, said several vacant lots on the south side should be set up for residents, not new migrants. It's a good point. How about the homeless folks? You ain't putting their asses in the tents for winter? Nah, they can sit out there and freeze to death. I mean, bleep those citizens, but the illegal aliens, we're good. We're going to make sure they're protected. I'm a believer in you help your people first, help yourselves first, help your community first, and then reach out and help others. We need to be doing that as a nation, as a country, not just Chicago. The migrant situation has also angered Chicago residents, particularly those on the south side, who have complained about the city's money being spent on migrants rather than on their communities. By the way, that's a largely black community, all right? Wait a minute. I thought you were wanting the best for persons of color in your city. Wanting the best. This tells me right there that's a lie. That's a damn lie. You don't give a rat's about Hispanics or about blacks or about, well, I mean, it's not surprising a Democrat socialist can't stand Asians, so that's a trend now. Let me state this clearly. The city of Chicago cannot go on welcoming new arrivals safely and capably without significant support in immigration policy changes, Johnson said in late August. The federal government has already given Chicago and Illinois at least $8.5 million for the migrant crisis. Chicago is not the only major city battling the crisis. New York City is struggling to metabolize about 113,000 migrants who have streamed into the city since last summer. New York also set up tent shelters for migrants last year, but ran into issues, including flooding in one of those shelters. That sounds safe. Wasn't there something about safety in there for migrants? Build a raft or an ark. You may need it. Oh, wow. Guys, I told you I had another banger coming. This is sadly, it's so absurd that it actually triggers a comical factor that comes out of me when I'm reading this. Because you could not have more. The party that's supposed to care so much about people clearly have chosen to care about all the wrong people. Right? The majority of Americans, let's be real, the majority of Americans are straight. They're not part of the LGBTQ, LMNOP community. The great majority of Americans are legal citizens. And if they did come in from another country, they did it the correct and legal manner. Democrats want to take care of everybody and prop up everybody. But the actual citizens of the country are, in this case, a state and city. That's where we are. You keep voting this in, it keeps getting better for you. Can't you see that? My goodness, things are improving. For migrants, but not the citizens. Oh, and all of this is going to go on, related back to the video I did earlier that will probably get released first. All the while, the city is turnstiling criminals back onto the street because your new cashless bail system. Good luck up there, folks. It is literally turning into Mad Max and Thunderdome in Chicago. And you think this isn't going to affect the economy? Your city is spending money on crap like this, not funding the police, crime's going up, and more businesses will leave, hurt the economy, and cause less jobs. See how all this works together? Tell me what you think. Black and White Network supporters, my goodness. Brandon Johnson. Wow. You got citizens yearning for Lori Lightfoot again. Woo! Yikes. Peace them out. Till next time.